Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing a movie review. This is an action/thriller from the country of South Korea. Korean language, English subs, released in the year 2008, directed by Hong Ji-na, who directed a very recent film that I just reviewed called The Yellow Sea. This one was before The Yellow Sea. This was in fact his first feature film, and this is called The Chaser. And the story to The Chaser is as follows. In a breathless race against time to find a ruthless killer, the survival of one woman depends on the quest of a fallen cop who with a thirst for vengeance. Ex-detective turned pimp, Jung-ho's night is getting messy. Convinced his girls are running out on him, he sends one of his last remaining girls, Mi-jin, on a desperate last job. Too late, he makes a bone-chilling discovery. The customer's home is where all of his missing girls were last sent. With a likely suspect in police custody, he has just 12 hours to find Mi-jin in the killer's lair before he is set free to end her life. The clock is ticking in this desperate race against time. So Jung-ho is the main character. He is a pimp. He used to be a police officer, but he was disgraced. So now he is making a living by selling young women for sex. So all of his women are starting to go missing, and he believes that this is a case of someone selling his girls. So he wants to find out just who this person is. So he has a suspicion of who this is, and he uses his last remaining girl, named Mi-jin, as bait. He basically is going to send Mi-jin to his home, and then she is going to contact him through mobile phone and tell him just where this guy lives so he can sort himself out. So Mi-jin is sent to this guy, but Mi-jin is never heard from again. So Jung-ho is determined to find this guy. By lucky chance, he comes across this guy and he beats him up. Now, he is taken by police. They're both arrested. And Jung-ho is basically telling the police that this guy is responsible for selling the women. But as the movie progresses, Jung-ho realizes that this guy is doing something far more sinister than selling them. He is, in fact, killing them. So he is desperate to find Mi-jin. And while the police have this guy in custody, they're not going to hold him for too long because they don't have enough evidence against him. So when he's released, he is going to go back to his lair and he's going to finish the job. And Jung-ho is well aware of this. And so in 12 hours, this guy's going to be released. So Jung-ho has to find her before that 12 hours is up. So it's a desperate race against time in order to save a woman from the clutches of a very evil person. So that's all I'm going to say on the synopsis. If you want to know more, then you're going to have to go out there and have a look at this one for yourself. Now my thoughts on the film. Just like Hong Ji-na's latest film, The Yellow Sea, this one is a very well-directed film. Typical South Korean cinematography. If you're familiar with South Korean films and you're expecting something typical of South Korea, you're going to get it in this one. While it's very bright and colourful, Hong Ji-na definitely has his own style. It's a very, very gritty film, and same with The Yellow Sea. It's far more grittier than your usual sort of South Korean horror film, in that the violence is not gratuitous, it's not over the top, it's just very realistic and very, very nasty. And there are more than a few scenes on this film with nasty violence, so just be very careful going into it. As far as South Korean films are concerned, this one is pretty graphic, and the whole tone of the film is very, very dark. So it's going to leave you feeling very depressed because it really is a cold and dank feeling that Hong Ji-na portrays in his movies. The Yellow Sea was exactly the same, and this one also is exactly the same. So this guy is very good at creating a very tense atmosphere. The acting was the same actors from The Yellow Sea, so there's a lot of similarities between this movie and The Yellow Sea, in that the same sort of actors, and it's the same sort of story, that it produces something very thrilling. And it has a dash of each genre. There's action, there's thriller, and there's also drama. The characters are very drawn out, and they're very in-depth. So you really do get a feeling of sympathy for each and every one of them. In particular, the last girl that goes missing, she is a prostitute forced to sell her body because of the desperate situation that she's in. She has a daughter, and you really hope that she gets out of the predicament that she's in. And that is down to very good character development. Then you've got Jung-ho, who is the main character. He is a cop turned pimp. You really hate him at the start because of the way he treats Mi-jin, but then as the movie progresses and his desperation gets more and more in finding Mi-jin, you really see that this guy does have a soul, and once again, he is a victim of desperation. Then you've got the serial killer, who is a complete nutcase and a very fearful sort of guy, and then the supporting cast, who are all very, very good. One problem I have with a lot of South Korean films is that they portray the police force in exactly the same way. They portray the police force as very incompetent fools, and that they can't do anything right. And also, it kind of seems like a caricature rather than a real sort of portrayal of a police force. It's kind of too comical to be real. And I noticed that that is a very similar occurrence in every other South Korean film. So I don't know what the South Korean police force is actually like, but judging by South Korean films, I don't feel South Koreans have a lot of faith in the police force. But I don't know how that is, so that's just a judgment that I'm making through a film. Now, the soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. It helps contribute to the actual feeling of the film, and the actual storyline and the way it progresses is fairly decent, although it does have major problems. Now, like the Yellow Sea, I feel that the chaser goes on for just a little bit too long. The middle stages of the film kind of drag, and I feel that this is a common occurrence in Hong Ji-na films, in that he tries to make them epically long films rather than be, a 90-minute film. I feel that if this film was cut by about 20 to 30 minutes, it would have been perfect, because the middle part, it kind of takes you out of the film. It kind of just halts it, and then it kick-starts back later on. So I just feel that it was a little bit disjointed in the middle, and it took away some of the enjoyment that I had for the movie. But having said that, the ending is very, very good, very memorable, and it's definitely stays true to the tone of the film in that it's a depressing kind of feeling. So it's very anti-Hollywood. I hear that Hollywood are going to do a remake, so I would highly recommend you check out the Chaser original before you see the remake, because usually Hollywood make it so, typical Hollywood fashion. This is a very memorable film. As I said, it does come with its faults. It goes a little bit slow, but having said that, once again, Hong Ji-na has delivered another very memorable film. I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5. As far as action thrillers are concerned, the chase scenes are very, very thrilling, and the violence is very, very gritty and nasty. So be aware of that. And if you can stomach all that, then it's certainly a film that is a memorable one as far as South Korean cinema is concerned. So that's The Chaser. I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5. Just a little bit slow in parts, but other than that, a pretty fine film. So 3 out of 5 for The Chaser. Alright guys, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.